Hi everybody, it's me, Greg Mannarino. How are you today? It is Friday the 13th, appropriately so, 2015. First of all, let me apologize for missing yesterday's market report. I just couldn't get one out. Happens from time to time, but I am pretty darn good with getting these out in a timely fashion. All right, let's talk about this, people. This is getting way beyond the point of ridiculousness and now is beyond the point of dangerous. What am I referring to? Let's just talk about how the market has reacted to economic data over the past several days. Last Friday, this market took a dive. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 280 points after what was, by every account, a phenomenal jobs report. You understand where I'm going with this? Now, yesterday, we got economic data, 3 months of declining retail sales, consecutive. The market loved this. The market rocketed up 260 points off of that disastrous economic news. What does this tell us all? Again, nothing is real. Black is white. White is black. There is no price discovery mechanism in this market whatsoever. It is an absolute extreme. So what does that mean for people who have, 401k plans or any exposure to this market, retirement plans? All of this is going to be corrected by the market at one point, and it's going to wipe out the wealth of I can't tell you, this is so huge. I mean, anyone who has been relying on a 401k plan, a retirement plan, exposure to this market on the long side, they're going to be wiped out. Wiped out, because this market, by every metric that I look at, and I study this thing morning, noon, and night, 60, 70, 80% overvalued. That's how extreme this is. And it's been driven by, number one, a runaway Federal Reserve, and now all the world central banks are getting on board with this. I can't tell you how dangerous this is. We are in for an epic global depression, of which there is going to be no way out of it. None. The central banks will be powerless. What are they going to do? Cut interest rates further? Print more cash out of thin air? Don't you understand? There's nothing they can do. They can't even unload their own balance sheets to contract the money supply. I can't stress to you enough how dangerous this is. I don't want to sound like a fearmonger or anything like that, but what we have, people, and I did an interview with Greg Hunter recently talking about staring down the barrel of the largest financial disaster the world has ever seen. Well, that's where we are. There is no doubt about this. I'm going to place a link to that interview in the description of this video. I'm also going to place a link to an article that I wrote just this morning about what's occurring here in the description of this video, in the comment section as well. We really need to start paying attention to this here, people. And today's market sell-off, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gave back just about, at the time I'm doing this, gave back everything is gained yesterday. Crude oil is plunging. The dollar is still rising. There's a lot of things going on here with regards to the dollar. Again, you can't look at the dollar in a vacuum. You have to look at this against other currencies, what the other world central banks are doing, slashing interest rates, going negative, debasing their currency against the dollar, making the dollar look like the prettiest lady at the ball. Now you also have this Federal Reserve interest rate effect, if you want to call it that, with regard to the dollar. It's vaulting the dollar higher here. The Federal Reserve has got to get out of the way. They have got to do this, and they have to do this now. I believe that any of the Federal Reserve presidents who have the slightest clue as to what is going on, I don't think Janet Yellen gets it at all. I think that she is either, suffering some type of a dementia. She's a little getting up there in age, or something else is going on here. the woman has taken Ben Bernanke to the extreme here. And Ben Bernanke is another one. So you have to understand that these people have to be held accountable for what is coming. It seems in this day and age, there's no accountability whatsoever. And it's always someone else's fault here. But this is the truth, people. We are indeed staring down the barrel of the worst financial epic event in history, beyond any shadow of any doubt here. And I'm a little bit scared about this, I have to tell you. I mean, I'm in the right spots here, just as talk about trading here. Yesterday, I did close my short position on SPY and my calls on VXX, and I'm not gonna lie, I cleaned up, no doubt about it, and I am happy for all of you that got involved in that. I did add 2 new positions on the short side. Again, if you're interested in these things, you should be number one following my site, traderschoice.net, that equity list page where I post my current positions. You should absolutely be following my Seeking Alpha blog. Now, specifically, I own August 175 puts on ALXN, and September 37.5 puts on KMI. These are both paying off right now. I entered these positions yesterday. I did post that again on my site, and I talked about it on my Seeking Alpha blog. So any of you out there who are traders, who are looking to get involved in this and looking to capitalize on this, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention now, because we are going to play the same game that the Wall Street banks are playing right now against everyone else. The Federal Reserve has gotten pretty much everyone who is going to get themselves involved in the stock market in. So now is the time for them to burst the bubble. They're going to burst the bubble. They might burst this next week. I mean, really, if they take the word patience out of their narrative, we have the FOMC meeting next week. If they take that word out of the narrative, the market is going to plunge and the dollar is going to rocket higher. Okay? If they leave the word in there, if they leave the word patience, the market will probably make a nice upward surge. I believe at this point, it's you know what? I really can't say. I think it's a 50-50 shot here as to what they're going to do. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to play that yet. I might decide to pull out of the market, wait to see what happens, and then act on the news. So we will talk about that when we get closer. It's Wednesday, so let's pay attention to that as well, people. But if you take anything away from this video that I've done today, and for all you skeptics out there, just look at the reaction of the stock market to economic news. It's the polar opposite of what should be occurring. I can't stress to you again how dangerous this is. And the Federal Reserve is doing nothing but inflate asset bubbles, causing distortions across the spectrum, asset capital misallocation like we have never seen in history. These are facts. I'm not making this stuff up. I always urge you to do your own research and gather your own understanding behind all of this. But nothing is real. It cannot be real when you have a Federal Reserve who is managing this market, manipulating this market through interest rate suppression and a whole plethora of other things. Very dangerous situation we're in, people. All right, look, before I keep going on and on about this, I believe this video has been very important. I covered some important things here. If you believe that, please hit this like button. Take you a split second to do that. Please share this video on your social networks. Let's get the word out. If you consider yourself a part of my team, and I know there are thousands upon tens of thousands of you out there all over this world, let's do this. Let's get together and try to make a difference. It's really up to us here. And if we can just help 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 or 1,000 people, well, you know what? Then we're all going to be better off for it, no doubt about it. With that said, it is Friday. I will not see any of you until Monday, so have a super great weekend, and we'll talk then. Take it easy.